What's up, Galaxy? It's us, Fandom Power, back again with another episode of Fandom of the Jedi, our Tales of the Jedi deep dive. But before we do that, I think you know what? It's time to get
Is it
funny.
time?
Funny.
Funny.
Well, I
A
mean,
little bit of comedy.
some people say it's funny.
Comedy to kick off the event.
I was going to
Wes, it's
say,
time for
there's nothing more funny than a bad Star Wars jokes. Kills me every
done,
time.
sir. I do love it. I do love it. I wonder where that guy is in the studio. All right. Well, this today's bad Star Wars joke comes to us from a lady named Siri. I think she lives in a satellite.
Siri, all
I
right.
think she lives in a satellite around Mars. But today's joke is: my friend decided to get a face tattoo of a Star Wars character. You should
Okay.
have seen the Luke on her face.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Luke on her face.
Man. I personally, it's generally a bad idea. I mean, I kind of want to think that maybe my retirement should be opening a face tattoo removal service for when these people hit grandfather age. But that's been another installment, folks, of
Bad Star Wars jokes.
Fantastic. Well, let's get right into it. It's the show that gives you the beat by beat, blow by blow, comprehensive breakdown of all the plot points, Easter eggs, and greater lore connections you've come to expect from us at Fandom Power. The second episode of the Ahsoka Tano arc, written by Dave Filoni, all things good, directed by our buddy Saul Ruiz. These guys are like
he's nailing it.
Little brothers.
You think so?
You know, yeah, they've been hanging around for a while, right? He is nailing it. He is. Today's episode is entitled "Practice Makes Perfect," with a lean runtime of 12:04, or 9 minutes 7 seconds, without titles and credits, making it the shortest episode of the 6.
Yeah.
Now I have to say, after I did my notes and I got my slides together and I put the presentation together, I went on and I wanted to check out some other people's reviews.
Oh, sure.
And this episode was just crapped upon by like 10 or 12 different reviewers. There was like, it needed to be longer, and hey, it could have been longer, but it didn't have emotion to it. It was lacking this, and I was like, I don't know.
Did they watch the same episode?
That's what I was saying. Did you watch the same thing? Because I and I'll talk about it soon.
There's a couple
this
punches
one made
right
me
in the
cry,
gut.
man. This one hit me hard.
Do these people not remember season 1 of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars where nothing was over 5 minutes?
Exactly.
And they were great.
And we're in the age of that 30-second time span, and I don't know the pacing. Well, let's just get right into this one.
Yeah, man.
Because I got a note here that says people are silly. Just before we returning to their signature roles, we've got Matt Lanter as Anakin Skywalker.
Nice.
Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka Tano. James Arnold Taylor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this week I wrote my own episode description.
Oh, wow.
Anakin Skywalker repeatedly pushes his Padawan through a grueling combat drill in hopes that one day it just may save her life.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, we open on an establishing shot of the Jedi Temple, bathed in golden light. Medium-length shadows adorn the surface as pedestrian ships whiz by in the foreground. It's what's that? 5 out of 6 episodes have the Jedi Temple
in varying stages
of lighting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's not on fire.
No, not
this
yet.
time it's not on fire.
It's not on fire.
Inside, Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker races down a hallway past assorted Jedi going about their daily business, passing Eth Koth, who pauses to look back at the young knight. I got a little image for the fans there of Eth Koth, who, of course, you may remember him as the male Zabrak Jedi Master and member of the Jedi Council. He was a personal friend of Qui-Gon Jinn and was actually the one that convinced the Jedi Council to let Obi-Wan train Anakin. He would go on to step down from the council, which would lead him to leave the order completely. And in a weird. I mean, I did some research. I couldn't find the exact reason for it, but
Yeah.
for some reason, the actor was replaced in Attack of the Clones, and they renamed the character Asian Kolar, but they're the same.
Yeah.
They look. You put them side by side, and I don't have a slide of that, but they look very similar.
Well, I know both characters are mentioned in an earlier edition, the Wizards of the Coast,
Right.
Star Wars RPG. They are treated as two separate
Two
characters.
separate characters. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in a twist of fate, I guess, in the canon Marvel Darth Vader comic, surviving Order 66, Ethcon would take a wife and have a daughter who made it to a Force sensitive list and had Darth Vader track them down.
Oh wow!
Only to be slain by Vader, the very Padawan that he convinced Obi-Wan, the council, to let Obi-Wan train. It's kind of a sad death.
There's a bit of a tragedy there.
Yeah. He reaches the door, Anakin, and pauses for a moment, taking a deep breath to compose himself. He enters the room. In the training room are Masters Plo Koon, Mace Windu, Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I got to say something about Obi-Wan and his animation model in this episode. So,
why? Whatever do you mean?
Well, he's sporting that Jedi mullet from the Attack of the Clones.
That's like Attack of the Clones era mullet.
He's wearing his Clone Wars armor, though, and he's not wearing the Tartakovsky armor.
Well, that doesn't track,
right? So he's but it's suggesting that this is early in the Clone Wars, but I find it actually disturbs continuity slightly because we know when they meet for the first time.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, in a non-training sort of situation, I'm sure that the two knew each other, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. I mean, but the first time that she's assigned to Anakin and Obi-Wan is present, he's rocking that short hair.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean that goes all the way back to the feature film release of Clone Wars in 2008.
Yeah. It's interesting that they kind of chose to muck around a little bit. Let's see here. Training session is underway, and Master Tara Sinube is residing over Ahsoka Tano as she trains with a single lime green lightsaber against several remote seeker droids. Fans will remember Sinube from the Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 11, Lightsaber Lost, where Ahsoka enlists the Master's detective skills in aiding her to find her lost lightsaber. Seekers, of course, also another reference made popular aboard the Millennium Falcon as Luke Skywalker, training under Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, takes his first step into a larger world and gets shot in the butt.
I like that the audio cues, there was no messing with that. It was instantly recognizable.
Yeah, it's perfect. Anakin hurries inside and takes a seat beside his master, who whispers to Anakin, "Right on time," to which Skywalker replies, "Riley, I thought I was late." So Kenobi quips, "That's what I mean."
Love that sense of humor.
And I really love the actors. Their chemistry is fantastic. It's the one thing that throws me off about Revenge of the Sith. Unfortunately, there's a couple of scenes in the elevator when Hayden and Ewan are back and forth, and it just doesn't play natural. It could be the dialogue. It feels a little bit wooden, As phase 1 of Ahsoka's training concludes, another begins, indicated by a blue circular force field descending from the ceiling, enveloping the young Padawan. Several seeker droids drop into a hover position as well. The seekers expand into a new configuration. Small blaster ports pop out on the sides of each one. That's pretty cool looking, eh? Like a little bit more deadly.
I wanted to make a sort of a comment on this. Anybody else watching the Orville?
Yeah.
Does this not look like Isaac's species when their heads are expanded?
Actually, now that you say that, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's funny as heck.
It makes you wonder, like, we see these other things, and I don't want to say that this is an overt pop culture reference, but it's really hard not to draw that analogy.
Well, I mean, Star Wars has always borrowed from great things, and then now it's almost the thing that every property is borrowing. If anybody saw the latest episode of Rick and Morty,
Morty,
we do kind of.
it's a little lightsaber heavy.
Mhm.
we all kind of agree that, in today's age of film and television, everything is derivative of something else.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's been said there are no more original stories. It's just how you tweak them.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the new training remotes designed to simulate battle, Obi-Wan informs his apprentice. Master Sunube ignites his own saber and taps the force field, and it appears as though solid. Nodding at the young Padawan, he taps his walking stick twice, and the force field begins to decrease in diameter, collapsing slowly towards the center. Ahsoka has a time limit.
Oh, yeah.
Igniting her saber and wielding her trademark reverse grip, she easily deflects the bolts of blaster fire back at the first seeker. Shocked, it falls lifeless to the floor. Looking on, a young Padawan and his master sit on the sidelines as he turns to her with wide-eyed amazement. Me too, as I realize it's none other than Depa Balilba and her apprentice Caleb Dune, or as Rebel fans may know him, Kanan Jarrus. Kanan, of course, the mainstay of the Rebels cartoon.
Kanan's my man.
And I believe he's the
Foreshadowing.
character with the strongest character arc in all of Star Wars, bar none.
Yeah, he might just be.
I really feel like that, yeah. Continuing with an impressive series of flips and leaps, Ahsoka times her parries perfectly, dispatching the remaining 3 droids in quick succession. Obi-Wan remarks, "Impressive." But Anakin doesn't share his enthusiasm and sighs deeply. Getting up, he walks over to his apprentice in the center of the room. Both stand before the instructors. Ahsoka quips, "Thanks for coming, Master." And Anakin gives it right back to her.
Well, I was in the area.
"Any thoughts?" she asks, genuinely seeking her master's approval. But Anakin is stoic, retorting, "You don't want to know." The pair bow to the masters as her training session is now over. Out in the hall, Ahsoka rushes after her master, annoyed, questioning, "What's the problem?" Not wanting prying eyes or ears, Anakin directs her to a sunny alcove, and he scoffs. "It's a lousy test." But she protests, crossing her arms across her chest. But it's what every Jedi does. That's precisely Anakin's problem. Exactly. "Look, you want a real test?" She does, of course. "Name it," she challenges. "Okay, I'll make you an actual test, and then we'll see what you've really learned." And as Masters Yoda and Kenobi look on as the pair walk off in different directions, Anakin into the shadows, Ahsoka into the light, this is metaphorically stunning. I love that shot
Yeah.
that's there.
It's a and we would see that again in the Dooku arc.
Yeah, we've seen it multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, they're really going for it cinematically. It's fantastic. Cut to title card. Practice makes perfect. The name of our episode. An LAAT gunship approaches a building on Coruscant surface. I don't think we've ever seen this building before, but it looks like it's kind of beside the temple, because aren't those two of the spires?
They definitely look similar.
Yeah.
But the spires are. I mean, you would see the ziggurat between them, so I don't think.
Right.
I kind of get the impression that this might be. Remember the two things that don't fly between the, and they did anyway. That would be something like that. Maybe it's that same district, like that industrial energy district.
Sort of theorizing it's probably like a clone training facility, or maybe even their barracks on. There looks like there's a lot of ships on the ground and some activity outside.
Yeah, that very well could be.
And of course, the LAAT gunship, first seen in episode 2, the LAAT delivered the rescuing clones to the Battle of Geonosis and was a staple throughout the Clone Wars animated series.
Here's another little schnibbly, is the green markings on that match the green markings from the LAAT we see in the ARC Trooper episode of the Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
That is awesome.
Now, I don't know if all of the I don't recall all of the gunships having that same green marking, but that one definitely matches the one from that other episode.
That's real cool. That's real cool. Nice nod there.
Yeah, isn't the first time over the whole series that they've done that either, right? So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Nods to the rest.
There's a couple times where they've done some stuff with a gunship. There's one that's got like shark teeth.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then this one with the green nose. Now I don't know if that's a more common design, but it's definitely the same markings as, like I said, that episode. It's actually the second episode of the Tartakovsky series.
Yeah. Before you know it, we'll have Mace Windu ripping Star Destroyers out of the air.
I just wanted him to punch the crap, like bare knuckle brawl.
That would have been awesome. Ahsoka hops out of the LAAT and jogs up the tarmac as it lifts off in the background. You're right on time, Anakin chides, and Ahsoka responds in turn, I thought I was late. Anakin smirks. That's what I mean. And we get a legacy line inside a 9-minute short. Save on animation assets, save on dialogue.
Yep.
Anakin leads her to a large dark area, possibly a huge hangar. It's pitch black except for large stadium lights in the ceiling far above them. About 10 clones stand in a group deep in the center of the room. Anakin informs her, Captain Rex and the boys have agreed to help with the test. Rex is more than happy to be of service. It's our privilege, Commander. And D. Bradley Baker voices 2 characters in this episode, and we'll get to the second one in a minute. But back as Rex, as it should be. But Skywalker doesn't want to waste any more time. Let's get started. Head out to the center, he tells the troopers. Make sure your blasters are set to stun. Droids are predictable, he informs his Padawan learner. I want you to be prepared for anything. You need to remain calm, think, feel the intention of the trooper who will fire first. You should be able to sense the moment before they even pull the trigger.
You ready?
He asks. And then?
Begin.
As the clones ready their weapons and take aim to fire, Ahsoka stands at the ready. They fire. Ahsoka blocks the first bolt. A few more, but they are too rapid and precise. And finally, one strikes her high in the back as a blue haze surrounds her, and she falls unconscious to the deck. This was so fast-paced and hard to catch.
Yeah.
How amazing she was. Even in her training sequence, how like Yoda she was fighting, like flipping and dancing and spinning and doing impossible acrobatics.
A lot of the combat sequences are hard to translate to an audio form when you're trying to describe it to somebody. It's like, I'm certainly no like R.A. Salvador when it comes to describing action, but like I appreciate how difficult that is. But you're right. Like there's a brutal elegance to what's going on here, and you almost feel. Man, I felt sorry for her, in some ways.
I do. It does come up in a minute. It really, some of it bothered me at first until I kind of understood what was happening, right?
No way of predicting that, of course.
No, exactly. Screen goes black and then slowly fades back in as we close in on Anakin and Rex standing over the student. Don't worry, Rex. She'll wake up. Ahsoka stirs and sits up groggily. That's it, Anakin reassures her. Come on. You'll get used to it. Wake up. She groans, sighs. How long was I out?
He says that you'll get used to it, almost as if he has experienced that.
Well, yeah, I really, I kind of got that.
Do you
vibe,
think
actually.
that do you think that he put himself in that same position and said, okay, guys, start shooting?
I certainly don't think for a second Obi-Wan would put him in that position. So if he's ever been in that position,
done it to himself.
100%.
Of course.
100%.
Yeah. Because they're like very quick to go along with it. They don't even question it. Okay, line up, start shooting.
How long was I out? She's wondering. An hour, Anakin flatly replies. An hour? She can't believe it. Rex informs her, yeah, Jesse really tagged you good. And Jesse, waving from the background, apologizes, and knowing what I know about the way the future plays out for the two of those characters, my heart begins to crack just a little.
Sorry, Commander.
There's a jovial quality to his vocalization where he's quite happy. Sorry, Commander.
Yeah.
Which is so tonally different than their final meeting.
Man. Man.
Yeah.
But Skywalker is all business. Come on. Let's go again. You ready? Begin. As Ahsoka stands her ground, the clones repeatedly best her, and she is knocked unconscious a stunning 6 times. Let's go again. 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 Again.
Again.
But Rex worries, I don't know how much more of this she can take. But Anakin knows her strength. She'll be fine. We're given a taste of what seems like Anakin's future cruelty.
Yeah,
Not exactly knowing where this is
say
going.
that. Yeah.
I get shades of J.K. Simmons and Whiplash.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Again.
I do not intend to start losing now.
Repeatedly driving a student to push beyond the limits again and again. And I look at my wife and I say out loud, he's torturing her.
It really does come across that way.
Yeah.
Like there's a quasi sadistic quality to it.
And see, and I don't know if this is on purpose, and if it is, the writing is exquisite, because at the moment I'm thinking he's torturing her, he
Yeah.
softens. Skywalker tells her, well, you're waking up faster, but Ahsoka has all but had it, finally standing up for herself. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The droids aren't half as good as Rex's men, but Skywalker explains, handing her back her lightsaber. That's the point. Look, I know this is tough. I want it to be difficult. This is about life and death. And as your master, I'm responsible for you. And the best way I can protect you is to teach you how to protect yourself. And if you can hold off Rex and the boys, you'll be ready for anything on a battlefield. Anything with a blaster, at least. Ahsoka's face softens, so does Anakin's, and she begins to understand that this is actually, despite the difficulty, for her betterment. And that's what I needed because I was like, this is wrong.
You got to find a way to tell me that this is okay.
You know, and you got, and the writing is so good that the moment I needed that, it definitely gave it to me.
Now, do we think that he's maybe pushing as hard as he is, knowing, like not knowing what he's about to do, but kind of getting like a premonition of she's going to need this level in the future? I don't know why. It's just she's going to need it.
I have notes on that actually, and I do believe that he's so powerful with the Force, and his visions are so, while misguided in the direction that he takes the information. I really believe that he knew that someday she would have to face clones in some fashion or something equal to that. And I really feel like he's pushing her to that limit like this.
Ahsoka's not introduced to us, not introduced as Anakin's apprentice until after the events of Attack of the Clones. So by that time, he's already had his visions about his mother. He's already slaughtered the Sand People.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe there is we know that he knows that there's a streak in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that plays into his training methods, but I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Anakin looks hard now. All right, boys, let's go again. And Ahsoka, with a little renewed vigor, blocks the first couple blasts, and but eventually one hits her. Exhausted, she grunts as the stun ray hits home, and she's unable to defend herself anymore. Screen cuts to black.
Yeah.
Once again, fading in, Rex intones, "Not bad. Took us 5 minutes to knock you out that time." And he hands her saber. I can do better, she's convinced. We see now that many years have passed, and Ahsoka wears the attire of the late Clone Wars era. Anakin standing in the background, also dressed in his late Clone Wars garb.
Clones are now no longer Phase 1 armor. It's now Phase 2 armor.
Phase 2 armor, slightly. And they're all 501st blue, whereas they were all white before, except Rex.
Yeah.
This time, Ahsoka deftly deflects multiple blasts as a smile crosses her master's face.
I actually got the impression that this round of training was initiated by her. That Anakin is 100% passive in this.
You're right. He does give a command here, but she does this on her own now. This is practice for her.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and like I said, 6 times she was knocked out for about an hour or so. Like that's like a 7 or 8 hour training session that we kind of crunched down into
seconds.
Into seconds.
Yeah.
Rex, drawing both blasters, double fires at Tano's back, and as she turns to engage, she's hit squarely and falls yet again. That look in her eyes there is just like realizing, like, do you get the impression that this is the first time Rex has participated? Almost like caught her completely off guard.
Yeah.
This time, when we fade back in, Ahsoka and Rex walk down a dark hallway, alarms blaring, sparks shooting from the ceiling, and I know exactly where they are. The crack in my heart grows a gaping wound. The pair stop at a bulkhead door. Rex replaces his familiar helmet on his head and hopes to Ahsoka out loud, "Let's hope all that training pays off." She closes her eyes as Rex steps behind her and puts his blaster in her back. Just then the door opens, and I'm right. I didn't want to be right.
No.
Hundreds of clones turned, await on the other side. Order 66. And I begin to cry uncontrollably. Hold your fire, Rex demands. Jessie, the leader of Ahsoka's clones, her dear friend, barks into his comm. Hang on. We have Tano and the commander. Send all remaining troops to my position. And the door closes behind them, slammed to black. And my heart is rended in two. Anakin, indeed, has given her all she needs to survive. I wasn't ready for that.
No, I wasn't either.
I was not ready for that.
I kind of felt, in some ways, I almost felt denied because I would have loved to have seen that played out organically over the course of the series, and then that scene be included in that final episode or that final 4-episode arc. I thought
Some, like, now that
so
we've
much.
done them all, a lot
Yeah.
of them feel to me when I examine them individually, like we've done, that these were like ideas that just couldn't fit into the
22-minute format.
or the mate, and like, so you're sitting there and Dave's got all these Filoni's got all these show notes, and he's
He's got
literally
a
going,
bunch of doodles on some sticky notes.
right, and these are the stories that well, what if we reframe it like this?
Yeah.
We could probably shoot some people straight in the heart. You bastard. Man,
It's so good.
and I
Masterfully
guess
done.
my final slide is although that's a heck of a final slide, created by Dave Filoni, supervised, directed by Dave Filoni, executive producer Dave Filoni, written by Dave Filoni, and my heart ripped out by Dave
Just
Filoni.
call, yeah.
And, and I'll let him do it again.
This week on the Dave Filoni Show.
Yep.
So
Yeah, man.
good.
Tragic. Just
It is. It's completely
yeah.
tragic. I think there's maybe more. Man, as much as I had a real soft spot for Qui-Gon Jinn, and I've always had that. I always felt that Qui-Gon was the most compelling character in the Phantom Menace, and I was super happy to revisit him in Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
This might actually be the most heartfelt episode of the entire series.
My lightsaber just died. Can
Oh
you
no!
see me?
Now it's the dark saber because you are so dark.
It is the dark saber. You might be able to. Well, luckily, that's all I've got. We've reached the natural conclusion, and it did end on a really dark note. Like
It did.
I mean, I had to look at Lauren, and Lauren was really the whole time she was. I know what's going to happen. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to believe it. And like when you really consider that all that training, let's hope it was for nothing. Like that it wasn't for nothing. Every single one of those clones in that facing us in that scene dies.
Yeah, they're all
they're all dead, and it's. I
there
mean,
might be a bit of a
she
crash
doesn't
or
kill them
something,
all, but
yeah.
certainly she has
holds them at
she
bay.
crashes the ship, and she's aware of it.
Yeah,
she's aware
yeah,
of it.
absolutely. I was actually thrown off a little bit because when they fade back in and we're on the Venator and Anakin is there, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just somewhere mid-war and she's still training, but then
Right.
it's a much quicker sequence to get you to that, like, that lump in your throat.
Yes.
Put your hands on your head. Oh, nah. And then it
Yeah.
all becomes like this, like,
As soon as I heard the
no.
klaxon, I went, I think I know where
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. And of course, then the hangar bay door is wide open, so we know, like, yep, Maul's escaped, and oh boy.
Well, he hasn't escaped yet, I don't think, has he?
Yeah, he's gone. He's taken the
He's
shuttle.
already
and
left. Yeah.
He's gone. Yeah.
I think that might be the shuttle in the. Oh no, that's Rex's.
Yeah, because first
Rex's
off,
plane.
once they drop the clones down to the next level, then
Oh,
Maul makes his
right,
escape, and
right,
she does
right.
that thing where she's
That's
almost
right.
pulling
You
him out,
are correct.
You are right. Wow, that's a big blunder.
and then she's like, fighting on both sides.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But
Crazy.
such a powerful episode.
Yes.
Oh man.
Loved it.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's all I got. We got one more
We got one more
in
tale.
the barrel.
Yeah, we've got one more to go.
Perfect.
We still, while we're here, we still have our 100 subscriber giveaway coming up here at the
Oh,
end
yeah.
of December.
Tell everybody.
We are well past 100 subscribers, folks. We are in the 130s now. So it is officially the push to 200 subscribers. Go find the 100 subscriber video on the channel. Leave a comment there. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment. We'll get your name into the draw that we're going to do sometime in January after the period closes. And we're going to draw for at least one 6-inch Black Series action figure. It's going to be one of
You want
the
my Grievous,
clone,
you know you do.
clone trooper, the clone shock trooper, also known as the Coruscant Guard. And as you say, Hank, if we get to 200, somebody, a second drawing will happen, and one lucky subscriber will walk away with a 6-inch Black Series General Grievous. So
Amazing.
we're in the mid 130s right now. It's the growth we've experienced in the last 2 months has been exceptional. And I'm so happy to be able to welcome all of the new subscribers to the Fandom Power family, because that's kind of what we are here. We are fans first. So thank you for choosing us, guys. I've got nothing else. Andy, you want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, if you like what we're doing, hit that like button, go subscribe. You got a chance to win.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, tell your kids,
and tell us
your
what you want to
grandparents.
see too.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you got a show idea, reach out.
Yeah. I mean, there's every chance that, we could, as we have before, take your idea and run with it. And if we do, there's a good chance we may call on you to show up and come be a guest host with us on the show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Anything else? Any more?
That is us.
We're good,
man.
All right. Well, then, until next time, guys. And we will be back very soon for Fandom Power. My name is Wes.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Dark. I mean, Hank.
And we will all see you on the next video. Bye for now, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Fandom Power. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be talking about another one of your favorite fandoms. Fandom Power is a Sawcast production.
There we go. We're live.
Yeah, right on.
Okay.
Excellent.
And 3.
Make sure we get everything up. Here we go. Okay, we're ready.